All right, we got the Benson bubblers on out front. Always looks nice. And the sun is shining. We're gonna go in here to the Oregon Historical Society and check out some Oregon history. I've been wanting to go in here for quite some time. They were closed and actually had some vandalism as well, but we're gonna go in here now and tour their kind of dedicated to Oregon displays. And it's free if you have a Multnomah County ID. And yeah, just a ton of history. So the museum store is open and they've got a ton of exhibits here. A history of winter sports, a walk in the Portland parks, and a ton more info. So yeah, we're gonna go in here and check them out. All right, so we just got free admission here at the Oregon Historical Society, and I'm noticing some of the winter gear. And I'm also noticing, which is really cool because I'm in the process of doing a vlog about Gert Boyle here. She was the innovator, one of the innovators behind Columbia Sportswear, which is very, very popular here in Portland. In fact, I'm actually wearing it right now. My wallet's a Columbia wallet too, but yeah, just great gear. And this looks like a Bugaboo Parket, Bugaboo suit, 1970s to present. Columbia Sportswear, founded in 1938, has headquarters in Washington. Its products are sold at thousands of retailers around the world. Its flagship store right down the street here in Portland. Wow, that is so cool. Yeah, Gert passed away, oh gosh, I think 2020 or 2019. And just a great job with her advertisements for the company. Here's some of the advertisements here. One tough mother. Mother created the Bugaboo because God's created the Bugaboos. So yeah, a lot of advertisements in Portland over the years. A very well-known staple when it comes to great gear. And we are gonna visit her final resting place soon. So this was very cool to see. I'm glad I came in just to document that. And they've got some other companies too here, like White Stag. And kind of the evolutions of the jackets too. How cool is that? So yeah, just a ton of Portland companies. And here's more specifically the Columbia Sportswear. After fleeing Nazi Germany, Paul Lamfrom and Marie Lamfrom immigrated to Portland in 1937. Soon after, they purchased a small headwear store, Columbia Hat Company. Neil Boyle joined the company when he married Gert, daughter of Paul Marie, in 1948. Facing problems with suppliers, the companies began manufacturing outdoor sportswear. And after her son's passing in 1970, after her husband's passing in 1970, Gert Boyle and her son Tim Boyle began leading operations. Since then, the company has focused on creating outdoors specifically suited for the rain and snow. That is so cool. Gosh, I'm glad I came in to get this info. This is cool. Oregonians on the road. Automobiles transformed the way Oregonians connected to one another. People could afford a car, could travel farther and more quickly than by wagon or streetcar. Look at that. 1904. The wooden spoke wheels too. A Benson automobile. Look at that. That is amazing. Police badge, 1917. Wow, look at this old plate too. 1908 to 1911. Very cool. Old Crater Lake matchbook. Yeah, there's just so much info in here on how the state came about, and wow, just amazing. What does it say here? What's this paint can doing here? While patrolling the Columbia River one raining evening, Multnomah County Sheriff Deputy Peter Rexford noticed how difficult it was to see the road's lanes. Looking for a solution to dangerous problem, he came up with the idea to paint a center line. Very cool. He painted the white line on a section of road near Latrell Falls. That's Troutdale. Creating the first painted line divider in Oregon. Wow, what a great idea, huh? That's cool. And look at the, they're not really headlights, they're more like a lantern. So yeah, that white paint really helped. That is so cool. Check out this old bike too, from 1900. Which offered a new freedom and mobility for women in the early 20th century. And look at these lights. It's almost like a... And the little bell there. The typewriter used by Lola Baldwin, the first credential female officer in the United States. Oh wow, look at that. Wow, this place is very cool. And then we've got, here's kind of the newer 1957 to today. Put the Blazers 1991 finals jacket. Oh, here's the Nike running shoes with the innovative waffle trainer soles. These are the ones that Phil Knight created. You can see in the back there, kind of like that different style. That is so cool. And speaking of Nike, Phil Knight's trying to purchase the Blazers right now, so we will see. Wow, look at this. 1955's portable television set. Here's a plate used as a prop in Portlandia. The No Olympics skit. That is so cool. So a little piece of movie history too, or television kind of. No way, the Viewmaster, 1955, created by Portland-based Sawyer Inc. I did not know that. Definitely had a lot of good times with the Viewmaster. I didn't know it was created here in Portland though. Dang, that is way cool. Yeah, just a ton of info. This is very, very cool. And if you're a Multnomah County resident, it's free. Tribal flags, the different Oregon tribes, Confederated tribes. How cool. Oh, look at this, Woody Guthrie. Being from here as well. 1987, of Songs of the Bonneville Power Administration hired Woody Guthrie to write about federal dams on the Columbia River in 1941. We did a whole vlog on him too. and actually saw his old apartment. Very neat. All about the railroads back in here, and check this out. This bell in 1862 was used on the Oregon Pony during its freight and passenger services along the Columbia River. They would ring that bad boy to let folks know it was time to board. And there's also a piece of the iron rail here, and also look at this, an actual railroad spike. The last spike driven on September 8th of 1883. Wow. And a ton of pictures too, kind of documenting all that. They've got these wagons in here too from the Oregon Trail journey. Between 300,000 and 400,000 people traveled the Oregon Trail from 1840 to 1860, settling in now what is now Oregon, Utah, and Washington, California. One of the largest movements of people in United States history. Man, these are really incredible. You can actually walk through this one here. All the things you would need along the way. Dried fruit, cornmeal, sugar. That's neat. Gives you like a full experience. Yeah, so they just do like the timeline of each specific era. Very, very, very cool. Kind of overwhelming, the information, but very awesome to say the least. Kind of the native section here. Wow, look at these moccasins. 1890. Yep, we've come a long way, especially after seeing those Nikes. Northwest coast made with pine nuts, fragments, porcupine quills, and other trade items. So a lot of trading. Indigenous people traveled the great distances to gain access to resources. The region's diverse landscapes provided items valued beyond the Oregon present boundaries. So a lot of trading of tools and whatnot. Wow, look at this bowl, 1850. It's all carved, hand carved. That is so cool looking. Look at this one, carved from a sheep skull. And a spoon. Wow. And a pipe. Items such as canoes, pelts, and shells had set trade values. Obsidian, for example, was used to make sharp-edged tools. Like the little spear for the bow. They've got this little beaver munching on this tree too, kind of showing the wildlife. And check this out, they've got some furs here. Wow. Wow, that's cool. That's heavy too. That would definitely keep you nice and warm. Great, you guys. Honestly, I'm just so surprised that I'd never actually been in here before. There's just so many documents and really cool history. I was really surprised how much expanded it was. But yeah, very cool to see a lot of those artifacts. I like this. Oregon is an inspiration. Whether you come to it or are born to it, you become enhanced by our state's beauty, the opportunities she affords, and the independent spirit of her citizens. I'm noticing this stained glass window here, which I always find to be so pretty. So yeah, 3 levels. of awesome info. I was really glad to document that Columbia Sportswear stuff. Oh wow, I'm surprised I didn't see this on the way in. Look at this, it's the clock from Iron Frank. A lot of folks would say, meet me under the clock. Before cell phones, that was kind of the meeting spot at Myron Frank. You would say, meet me under the clock. 1915. Manufactured by Joseph Mayer, a saddle-based jeweler and clockmaker. It was installed in 1915 in downtown Portland at the Myron Frank. Pretty darn cool to hear it. And they're not open at the moment, but if you do come down here, you can check out some of these food carts here. Yeah, I got this nice outside pavilion here. A couple art pieces. Oh, and that sunshine feels good. That's gonna do it for today. If you guys are new here, make sure you hit that red subscribe button. You can ring that bell, that way when I creep, you guys will be the first to creep. And if you did enjoy this, give it a thumbs up. Until next time, Creeper out for now. Peace. These guys are just chilling, perched. Hey fellas, you guys are just chilling this morning? This one's looking at me like, what the heck is this guy doing? All right.